There's not anyone watching, but I'm always talking to myself. Good morning. It's Johnyboy, and this is Saturday Morning Live. There is a delay on these live streams, as you're all aware of. And but as you join, it'd be great for you to give us a big thumbs up and just say who you are and where you're from. A little bit tired this morning. I'm going to try and get the live stream up because I can actually see, as I said before, the comments better on the live stream than what I can actually see on the phone. Got one. Good morning. I don't know who's just joined us this morning, but if you can hear me, it'd be good to give us a thumbs up. Let's see if we can just get it on there. Just gonna get a live stream. Sick of the lives. Good morning, Steve. How's it going, bud? Good to see you. Glad you joined. Got one like, 3 live views. What you will find is with the 2 likes. There we go. I was just going to say it. People start joining. Ian Crawford, good morning, Ian. How are you, mate? Where are you calling from this morning? I want to know where you're calling from. We have got a caller joining us this morning. But anyway, without any further ado, K building. I'm going to get the live stream because, as I said, I can see it a little bit better. I'm going to get the live stream because, as I said, I can see it. They are. There, I can see what people say. I haven't even got my glasses here this morning, so I'm going to struggle this morning. I'm not ready. I should be ready. From Kettering, UK Bully Blog. Good to see you, bud. Chris Robertson has joined us. Peter Harkes, morning, mate, from sunny Scotland. Pete, what's it like up there today? It's dreadful down here today. It's. I mean, I had to. We were thinking about putting the heating on. It was cold this morning, and not that cold, but when you live in a house, Shad, how's it going, bud? When you live in a house, some of these new builds, it's not always good. Love the last video, mate. Good. Getting some positive feedback on that, Steve. Yeah, that's the recent one I've posted, is it? Look, listen, we can have a chat about that now. It'd be good to talk to you. It'd be good to get some feedback on the latest video and anything else that you want to actually talk about. 16 live viewers, 14 likes. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. We've got somebody calling this morning, but we've just got to remind you, it's Saturday Morning Live. It's supported by those guys from ITS, the tool guys. And they're decent guys. As you know, I always try and work with companies and suppliers and manufacturers that actually value us. Last video was awesome, says Shads. Did you like it, bud? Really, thanks very much. I really appreciate that. It's great to have the feedback, and I just want to try and change how we're getting the content out there. I think it just getting the close-ups. It just means a little bit more. DH Garden Services, Peter Arquez, second that great video. Pete, thanks. This channel is nothing without you guys. 18 people viewing now. Let's see if we can get a few more likes on it. Peter, as I was saying to all of you, and Shads as well in Crawford, could you cover making steps with step risers? Ian, there is one on there, but what I'm going to try and do, because you've said now, I'm going to write this down now. Bear with me a second. Because you've said that, I think what I'm going to do, let me see if I can just get this in a moment. I'm going to redo a video where I did the steps, and that was what Ian actually said. That Ian Crawford. Let's write that down. Ian, I'm going to especially redo a video for you, hopefully tomorrow. Let's write Ian down. I spelled it right. That's the Scottish way. Ian reference steps. I'm going to redo a video where we did a couple of years ago where we did some steps. Sick of Life says, it all rang so true, other than the new COVID people coming into the trade being better than as old school lads. Yeah, absolutely. Was that the Brazilian slate? Not quite sure what you're referring to there, Shad. UK Bully Blog. I got ivory porcelain after the dogs get their muddy prints all over it. It takes me hours on my hands and knees. Is it worth sealing? Yeah, it is. Aaron Whitlock's just joined us. 20 live viewers. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can get a few more likes on. We've got 8 likes on here. Yeah, look, listen, I think what people got to understand is as people join this channel, they will respond to other people's comments on there. And UK Bully Blog says, I got ivory porcelain, and after the dogs get their muddy prints over it, look, is it worth sealing? Yeah, of course it is. But there is a train of thought when you were in every vow. Just trying to read. I do watch the video back through after. I really do. So Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. Ian, I'm going to put a video together where I made some steps and some risers, and basically all we done, we formed concrete out of shuttering, and we were quite precise with it, literally, and then we cladded the face of it, and we used that using a Mapai exterior rapid set adhesive. But talking to Sam Hoffman the other week, Sam was telling me that he said there are better products out there than the Mapai to actually use, and he actually covered a couple of things about when you're sticking, when you back butter. What Sam was saying is that always when you put the adhesive on the back of the riser or the tread, always let it start. You'll see little air bubbles coming in it, and he said those air bubbles are coming out, and he said that's the time when to stick it. Don't stick it straight away. I personally haven't had any problems with it, but I got to take on board what Sam was actually saying there, and thinking about it, because look, if somebody gives you some advice and they've got a tip, do you take it? Well, you don't refuse it, you just take it. The option is there to actually jump on board and you know, take their advice. And what Sam was saying is that when you back butter, he said in some cases he doesn't even back butter with certain things. I can't remember exactly what Sam said to me. We had a long conversation when we went to Barcelona the other week. He said when you put the adhesive on the back, he said leave it a while, don't stick it straight on, you notch it through. The hand motions this morning. Shad says Everest. Oh, Everest. Yeah, that was Shad's. That was Brazilian slate. Yeah, absolutely. And it was 3 cm, so it was a lot thicker. Sick of Life says colour can make a difference. Some tile slabs show up dirt more than others. Yeah. I don't know about you, Steve, but I've got black slate down on my place, been down 15 years, and it really does show the dirt up. But it just depends where you are. When I've seen a lighter colour porcelain, and if you've got a real lawn, sometimes if that lawn is a little bit clay, the mud does get on there. Peter Arca says, seeing your digger in the recent video, what's the best way to get a confident driving one in a confined space? I have access. Well, I just think it just takes time, Pete, but I think the most important thing is to take it easy, you know, and don't go mad, don't go crazy. What I would do, and I would turn the throttles down a little bit if you're not used to driving a machine. And I guarantee you, I was talking to my old boss the other day who taught me how to drive diggers many years ago. And somebody said this week I can't drive a digger, but I think my old boss, John Norman, up there in Malden, Talsbury, Essex, will tell you that I could drive a digger. We used to drive those Ford diggers years ago, the rubber ducks we used to call them. And but he's not so keen on the JCB. He just laughs. He thinks I'm absolutely crazy for getting that JCB digger. So John Norman, thanks very much. Always good to see you. It's always good to keep in touch with the people that always remember you. Sick of Life says, Pete, take it into a larger area and practice, mate. There we are. This is what I like about this channel, because there are people on here that are prepared to help and support others. Steve, thanks very much for that. Joe Hyatt, hi bud, how's it going? Listen, we got 9 likes, okay, 9 likes, and we got 19 people viewing. It will go in and out, and what we normally find at the end, when we look at the analytics of the videos, we're probably about 250, 300 people bouncing in and out. If you want to stay with the video, you can. If you don't want to stay with it, that's absolutely fine. Also, please try and be respectful to the channel for other users on here. If you actually see some really horrible, nasty, people's entitled to their opinion, okay? They are entitled to their opinion. Somebody asked me this morning, why am I using a Screenix? Well, we always use screen mixes for years and years and years. And yes, I've used mixers where I've mixed muck up. And the fact is that I just don't feel I can get the right mix in that, because I think you've got to wait such a long time for it to mix. And I just don't want to add too much water. I think water is really detrimental to the grating systems, and certainly the cementatious grates we're using now have to have a rethink and reduce the amounts of water that what we're putting in mixers. And the best way for me to do it is in a Screenix. You could do it in a forced paddle mixer, but they're so expensive. If anybody could get a link up about forced paddle mixers on here and share it so somebody can actually see what one of those are, but think about it. But yeah, but listen to what Steve said. I'm bouncing around now because I'm seeing people's comments is that, yeah, get it in a field. But you got to remember, and that's what my old boss was saying, the mini diggers are harder to drive than some of those big machines. Those big machines, they're stable, they're on the ground. It's so easy to turn one of those little machines over. Can we get all of the viewers give a like? There you are, Shads. Thank you very much. Got 21 people viewing at the moment, 12 likes. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live if you've just joined us. Saturday Morning Live is supported by the guys from ITS. Go onto their website, have a look at www.its.com. I think it's .com. The big FB, those mixers are around 3,000. Yeah, they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous, man. Lee, we are going to get your hoodie out to you, mate. Don't worry about it. It is all taken care of. I have just opened my own business now. I just opened my own business. Joe, listen, Joe, if you want to drop me an email with your number, or if you want to give me a ring, my number is, I'll post it later on the group. One thing I haven't done this morning, I haven't turned off my into airplane mode, which we sometimes get some interference. I'll give you my number if you want my number, Joe, and you want to speak to me. I love to help people with new starts. There's things that I can do and I can say which I know that I can actually help. Peter Ark says, thanks guys, I have access in one over the farm and I've been practicing, but a big jump to take it into a proper job. Confidence thing, I guess. Yeah, it is confidence. Confidence is absolutely it's massive. Look, 17 likes, 23 viewers, and that's all because Shad said, come on guys, give it a like. I don't know who actually all do it. No, Lee, I will get your hoodie out to you. Yeah, please. Joe, I'm here. I can help you through that process. I love to help new businesses and get you going. There's ways of doing it. But the one thing that we do, what we can do as a business and what we do every day, everything we should do well. So you may not necessarily be good, for example, at social media, but you will get there, and there's ways of dealing with it. But as long as you're doing some initially, but then you've got to start doing it well. UK bully blog, under a ton. It's revised controls takes a bit of time to get used to. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. James Bradley says, hi John, been watching your videos for a while, just starting out the landscaper. Any tips for getting going? Keep up the good work. James, the only thing I can say, there's so many things that we actually have to look at, right, when considering, when starting a business, right? And what we have to do, the most important thing we have to do it with intent. Everything we do, we got to have intent. Intent is so important, because if you've got no intent, you're just going to fall foul at the first hurdle. If you're going to go over that hurdle, you need to make sure that you jump it and you get over it, right? And do it with intent. It's so important. If anybody watching this morning needs any help or any advice, drop me an email. I will drop you my number and we can arrange a time to chat. I'm always available, even if it's on my Bluetooth in my van when we're driving along. I might be able to tell you something that you haven't thought of before, which is so important. Lee, I will get that hoodie out to you. Sick Advice says, Pete, set yourself up a mock edge and just keep getting your bucket as close as to you without touching it. And in an hour, you'll be good. Look at this, the advice. Ian Crawford says, sorry to mention step risers again. Do you need a wet mix or can you use semi-dry for the riser beds? Got a call coming in. We got a call coming in. I want all these comments coming in. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, John.
Who have we got this morning?
It's Connor Healy here from Healy Fencing and Landscaping.
Connor Healy from Healy Fencing and Landscaping. Whereabouts, Connor? I know who you are, but I'm just trying to introduce you to, because if you just repeat that again, and people can hear you loud and clear now, they want to know who our guest visitor is this morning. And do you know, Connor, I actually posted about you earlier in the week, so people are well aware that there was a guest coming along.
Lovely.
So
well, my name's Connor from Healy Fencing and Landscaping. We're based in Solihull here in the West Midlands.
Oh, fantastic. And how long have you been going, Con?
So I've been going, I've been running my business for 3 years.
Okay.
But I've been around the landscaping industry all my life. I grew up with my old man doing it, and it's kind of just taken off.
And does your dad help you now on a basis of some sort?
Say that again, sorry?
Does your dad help you with your business now?
No, he doesn't help me now. He's fully retired, so he's chilling out now. But he is always there for support, and he's there for the knowledge as well and the questions. If there's anything that arises, he's always there to support us.
Does it help to have I know he's your dad, but having a mentor along, does it help, or is it like a father taking a son out for his driving lesson still?
No, it's just a mentor kind of role.
Yeah. And what's his name, Connor? Let's give a big shout out to him.
His name's Martin Healy.
Martin Healy there in Birmingham. Hope you're doing well this morning. Hope you're watching this. And if you don't watch it, watch later on, because your son is an absolute gem. And to all our viewers that joined this morning, Connor, you've got 27 live viewers, 18 likes, And there's been lots of questions. We've been talking about steps, risers, building, driving diggers, etc., etc. And you've got a fair few people on here that's giving it the likes. So, Connor, look, I've got to ask. You've been going 3 years. How's it been for you in general? How's the landscaping business treated you? Was COVID good for you?
It's been a tough journey. I actually started the business cutting grass out the Peugeot 206. So I used to put all the waste and all the mowers in there. But since then, I've kind of grew the business into what Dad has always worked around, which is the hard landscaping. So it's been a tough journey. I had my van stolen in the first year.
You had your van stolen?
Yeah, I had my van stolen.
Was that difficult to get over? Did it cause lots of problems? Obviously, initially, but did you get round it?
Yeah, I was at a low point when I come to terms with when it got robbed. But I overcome that. I had the missus by the side. She said, "Come on, Connor, keep pushing. You can do. We'll."
Carl, the other day, sorry, mate, I just picking up on something you said there, right? The other day we were talking about something, and you said that your other half actually keeps you on the straight and narrow as such, and keeps you going, and is good for your mindset. And is she there every day for you? Do you share things with her? What's going on a regular basis? Do you overload her with the same problems that you have, or does she know what's going on?
Yeah, I always talk to her. She's always there for support. So any issues that I do have, she's there. She advises me, and she just keeps me focused, which is the biggest thing in business. Yeah,
just keep reminding you of things and just keeping you on track, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's so easy to drift, isn't it, into that mindset of maybe a little bit of, I don't want to call it depression, I don't want to get onto the mental health thing now and again, right? But we all struggle it sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, and it's like a ship, really. If you let the water in, it'll soon take over very quickly. You've got to be very careful of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fantastic analogy, and it's always nice to have the support around you, and it's funny, though we know that they're there for us, sometimes I ain't saying we forget about our partners, but we know that they're there. It's almost like a sixth sense that they're gonna step in at some time, and you know that you've got that support and that backup, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
What's her name, Connor? What's her name? What's your other last name?
Her name's Kiri.
Kiri? Hi, Kiri.
Kiri Katanoa, the New Zealand opera singer.
Oh, right, okay. Can she sing like her?
No, she doesn't sing like Kiri Katanoa.
Well, there you go. Connor, listen, mate, what's your plans for the future? The business is growing, you're doing good, you're employing a couple of people, you do a lot of stuff with, we spoke about it with the Aero board and the DuraPost. What's your plans for the future?
So my plans for the future are to grow the business, but not in one division. I'd like to grow it so that it's almost like the 5 pillars of landscaping. So you've got design, you've got your install, your maintenance, and your supply, and also just general aftercare. So like the maintenance of timber, as you know, timber's bad quality nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not what it used to be.
That's right.
So I think that's a very important factor for something that may arise in the future where timber's just no good to use.
Con, just let you know where we are. We've got 23 live viewers. You've got 19 likes on the channel at the moment. You've got a fair few people. You've got, actually, this is where it's great, Con, is because we actually have consumers, and there's one of my consumers, Dan Price, that's joined us this morning. He just says, "Good morning, John Allison. I haven't been on a while. I hope all is well." We've got some of the regular viewers, James Bradley, Peter Harkes, Sick of Lies, Steve, we got Lee, the Big FB, UK Bully Blog, Carl Button, Ian Crawford, I've got Joe Hyatt. There's loads and loads of guys and girls that are joining. We have consumers and we have people that join this live stream on a regular basis. So my question to you, Connor, one of the things that I tend to ask a lot of contractors is that what does a consumer look for in a good contractor to generate confidence? What do they look for, Con?
So the first thing that consumers normally say to me when I go in, they tell me how calm I am. They say that they love how calm I am, how relaxed. I'm not forcing things down there. I'm not forcing ideas down their throats. I listen to them first, and that's the biggest thing, really. And that's the first step to building trust, as well as having a big smile on my face.
Yeah, absolutely. And without a doubt, I would buy off you, Connor. And you picked up on some good points there. The trouble with me, Connor, I'm just so excited all the time. I can't shut up. So, what have you got planned next week, Connor? Who have you got booked in? You got new jobs starting, old jobs? Are you closing jobs down? What's happening next week?
Yeah, so we've had to push a job back next week. So I've pulled a little fencing job forward for Monday. I've got two days on a maintenance contract for a big facilities management company. I look after all the Sainsbury's. And then we've got a big job booked in, which is a turfing job. So that's exciting one.
Yeah, and the thing about the landscaping, there's always a good variety of work. But Connor, I just listened to what you said there. What's it like with the domestic side and the commercial side? Can you do both? Do you think, as a landscaper?
I try not to diverge too much into doing both too much. When we get commercial jobs, we only do commercial maintenance, and we price them well. If we get them, brilliant. If we don't, we don't. Because most of our time is consumed by domestic installs.
Right. Do you see any value in having a regular commercial round?
Yes. Yeah. It's regular guaranteed income.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and absolutely. And it's something that you can sell later on as well, because you have those contracts. Just picking up what Dan Price, one of our clients, has just said, one of our previous clients. He says he agrees with Connor for us. We pick up on contractors' energy, enthusiasm, and empathy was a stressful time for us. So a contractor that understood what our goals were are important. So, and then we got Justin from Brickwright. I don't know if you've seen Justin's channel, Brickwright Building and Landscaping. Good morning, Justin. He says the economy is one of the most difficult things to manage. The good times move to bad, and you have to accommodate that it's hard, and there is a recession, and there is another recession on the way. What's your view? Listen, Connor, I'd love to talk about this sort of thing, but what's your view on what Justin said about possible that there is a recession on the way? What's your view on that?
I see one coming as well.
You do?
Yeah, I've seen one coming. Since the supply issues that we've had through COVID, because that was a difficult time, and all the lending that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's just over the hill.
Yeah. Are you? Yeah, and I think that it's unavoidable. I think you're right. That all this lending that's been going on, massive amounts of lending, and I think the government's tried to avoid it, right? But they couldn't because of the furlough stuff and all that sort of thing. And there are businesses that never furloughed staff, Connor. Certainly, I think there was one tiling company that never furloughed their staff, and as a result of it, they got nobody to fall back onto. Silly mistake, in my opinion. And obviously, you see it with airline companies at the moment. Colin, what can we do? What can we put in place in our businesses to actually, avoid? What is there any contingency plans that we can put in place?
So for me, the contingency plan is the commercial maintenance, especially in the winter times, because in the summer times, all as landscapers are really busy, but in the winter, you just never know what's going to happen. You could be busy, but it could all just drop off. So I always say, put something in place where you've got that regular income coming in. So find a commercial contract, put it in place, get it all in writing, and I believe you'll be fine. You'll flow through it, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Rob Fry, who normally joins us. Just say good morning to him. UK Bully Blog says, a good tradesman is recession-proof. What's your view on that?
I do believe that, but it takes time to build up to being recession-proof, I think.
Sorry, Carl, go on, sorry.
I do believe you've got to get everything in place. So get all your reviews on. I think if you get all your reviews on, you're posting regularly, you've got a good marketing plan and it's consistent. I think that statement is true if you've got all that in place.
I love that, Connor, I do, and I'm a great believer in it. That if you don't have commitment, you won't start, and if you don't have consistency, you won't finish. Consistency is key to it all the time. Once you've started, you need the consistency and keep driving on, keep going with it. And like you said, Google reviews. We've talked about this before. If you're a consumer or a contractor, get on there and have a look at the consumer reviews. Look, if you're just joining us this morning, we've got 22 live viewers, 20 likes. Saturday Morning Live is supported by the guys at ITS, and we've got Connor Ely from Ely Fencing and Landscaping down in Birmingham. Connor, we've really enjoyed talking this morning. It's not over yet. I just want to let you know that these people are on board. They're listening to you. They want to know what you have to say, and I think they're valuable. We've got all these 21 likes at the moment. Connor, could you ever see yourself doing anything else apart from landscaping now?
I did actually try to go away from landscaping.
You did? Really?
Yeah. Like I said, Dad was in the industry. He was always quiet at winter. So I wanted that regular income. So I tried loads of different jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, I think I'm getting to that point now. I'm getting a bit old for this at the moment, Con. And some people saying, don't talk daft, you're only 57. But I can tell you now, mate, my back sometimes, it does struggle if I don't watch what I'm doing. And, we need to look after ourselves. Our Steve, Sick of Lies, down there near Luton, he says, the last recession back end of the 90s was a killer. Yeah, without a doubt. I remember it. And I think, Connor, there are a few people that can speak from experience because they've been through a couple. I think the last one was probably 2008. And Connor, it was almost like Sky News. It was almost like a drip and tap. They kept using the R word all the time. And it's such a negative vibe. We know that the interest rates are going to go up. Okay, it's inevitable, right? Once we resign ourselves to that fact, is that we can take sort of stock of the situation. We know it's going to happen, but we can remain calm. And I was talking to, you probably know, you know Ash from BSW, Connor? Remember Ashley?
Yeah, I remember Ashley.
Yeah, I was talking to Ash the other day, and he was saying that he's having some quotes for his garden, and then Ash was saying, he made the point that, obviously as a couple with his wife, they discussed it, and his wife was a bit concerned that possibly why are they spending money if there's going to be a recession. And Ash said to me, and you're like this, he said, John, he said, if I ever lost my job, he said, I'd go and find another 2 jobs. He said, there's no doubt about it. I said, I'd go and find another 2 jobs. And he said, I would carry on spending, he said, and in moderation and under control, simply because what he wants to do is he wants to keep the economy going. And do we all have a responsibility, Connor, to sort of like to keep the wheels of the churning, the wheels of industry? Do we have a responsibility to keep them churning or no?
I think so. We were definitely the ones keeping the wheels turning through COVID. I believe that.
Sorry, could you say it again?
I believe that as tradespeople, we were the ones keeping the wheels turning through COVID.
I think you're definitely right. I think that, and it was funny. The thing is, Con, do you remember when COVID was on? There was a lot of people that were getting a bit of grief for working, but as a landscaper, we don't really come into touch with anyone, do we?
No.
And did your turnover, did your numbers go up like during this period, Connor? During the COVID period, for you personally as a business?
Yeah, so they did rise.
Yeah,
but the profit wasn't there because of the rising cost of materials.
Yeah,
we had to make sure we had constant work. We had to kind of find a middle ground with the clients with that.
Connor, I'm going to just let you know we've got 29 live viewers, right? I don't know what you've done this morning, but you've actually got people talking, so don't go away for a minute. Let me just read some of the comments out. Ian Crawford says, in respect of, and I hope you do this, Connor, in respect of having a bad back, try stretching every morning. I think that's important. Sick of Lies was on about the 90s was an absolute killer. Justin from Brickwright says, Sick of Lies, bricklaying was in a dire in the 90s. Our job is a roller coaster full of ups and downs, never easy at all. Lewis says, I know how you feel. I'm 37 and feeling that I might get into a less labour-intensive job, maybe start making those garden offices, gym, man caves, etc. We get back to that in a minute, Con. Our Lee, I'm going to call say Our Lee, he says, is there any call for consultants in the landscaping industry? Could be an option for you, JB, in later years. I think that'd be a good shout, to be honest, Lee. I think that's absolutely wonderful. The media can talk you into the recession, says UK Bully Blog. Never lost a day through COVID. Sticker Life says brick and build. It was a big one, mate, and it hit almost everyone hard, regardless of reputation, etc. That's a fair comment, Mike, because some people are actually. Some people are going to get hit by it, aren't they, Connor? And, you know, we can't avoid it, can we?
No.
It's just how we deal with it, isn't it? That tidal wave that it comes towards. We got to remain calm, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
You've got to ride the wave.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel when the phone stops ringing, Con? Do you get anxious or do you worry a little bit when the phone stops ringing?
No. I think it never stops, but it does always go quiet at times, but you gotta believe that it's gonna come in. But just keep pushing yourself out on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
And work will come in.
Yeah, it will come in. It will come in, but they've got to keep on it, and you just got to work that little bit harder. Got a question coming in from Ian Crawford here. He says, and this is to everyone, not just Connor and myself, and we'll let Connor go first with this, but he says, any advice on choosing good screed rails, tubes, or box sections, and what size and thickness? Over to you, Con.
Repeat that.
He says, any advice on choosing good screed rails, tubes, or box sections, what sizes and thicknesses?
Sorry, I didn't catch that, John.
Yeah, he's talking about screed rails for block paving, I think. What size would we use, a box section or a tube? He just wants to know some advice on that.
I'd go for the box section.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Why the box?
It's just down to preference, really.
Yeah, I actually prefer the tube. I remember years ago going to Cardiff and wanted to buy some tube in the morning, and the guy said to me, I wanted some solid stuff so it didn't bend. And you can get the tube, like, you know, with a hollow in there. And I would go for me personally, I would go for like 20 mil. I would, and you know, once you've bought that and it's a good one, it's not gonna bend, is it? You know, and as long as you look after it. How many people, Connor, have you seen? Sam Hoffman the other week when I was in Barcelona, he's a tiler, Sam. He was saying to about how the blades for cutting porcelain, how they're really expensive, and how people throw them around in the back of the van.
I haven't seen that much.
Yeah,
I think they're quite reasonable on price.
Yeah, I think so on price, but you can get some really expensive one. But what you don't want to be doing, you don't want to be damaging a diamond tip blade, do you? Because you can't use it once it's damaged, and tools are bouncing around in the back of the van. Lewis says, I've held my job price last year, waiting for it starting to get quiet before pushing the socials. Well, I would say to Lewis in respect to that, says Lewis is saying. He says getting quiet before he says he's not going to get on pushing on social media until it starts getting quiet. I would keep on it now, in my opinion, Connor. What do you actually think? We talked about consistency in everything we do, and certainly trying to share your stuff on social media is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd stick to one post a week at least.
One
Just
post
keep
a week.
yourself visible on there.
I do.
Even if you are busy.
I do one every 2 hours, I think, Con. I can't help it. I want to share to the world with what I'm doing. Gareth Williams, morning, bud. How are you? Tube all the way, says UK Bully Blog. Justin from Brickwright says probs, screed rails, or 20mm electrical tubes. Steve says exactly what I use, mate. It's good there. This is what happens, you see, Connor. They all start talking to each other and excluding us out of the conversation. Connor, I got to ask: is landscapers, do you ever go on holiday?
Yeah. Well, started to this year.
You started to this year. You need it.
Yeah.
And my advice to you
Yeah.
is like just get on there and make sure you have your breaks, Con, because it's so important. You can just get swallowed up in day to day with your work, and it's not good at all. Like, you know, so Connor, unless you've got anything else to say, just I'm going to read out now a few of the comments. There's Lee says the most expensive blade I saw this week was £160 for a 5-inch at Makita. Wow, you're so irregular. I'm lazy when it comes to social, says Lewis. We can't be lazy, can we, Connor? We can't be lazy when we're starting a business. The old thing is we need to be proactive, don't we, in our business constantly. But where do we leave it? Where do we leave work? Do we leave it as soon as we walk through the door? You know, we run a business from home, don't we, Connor?
That's it. Yeah, you got to be proactive.
Yeah, I think so. Look, Connor, I'm always aware of the time. I want to just say thank you this morning for joining. It's a massive some gratitude here from the group and from the guys on the group. Can you just say again, Connor, if somebody's looking for some landscaping or fencing and somebody down in the Midlands is looking, can you just say the name of the business, and is there a website or a Facebook page where they could find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on Facebook. They can also find me on Google. We've got plenty of reviews on there. Just type in Healy Fencing and Landscaping. We've got a nice crest as our logo, so you can't miss it.
So that's Healy Fencing and Landscaping in Birmingham.
That's correct.
That's correct. And so whereabouts in Birmingham, Connor, again, can you just remind us?
So we're based in Solihull.
Solihull. And what areas do you cover, Connor?
We cover the West Midlands. It's an hour round radius, really.
Right. Okay. So West Midlands. Do you go as far as Worcester or Kidderminster around that area, or is that too far?
Yep, we go down to Worcester and Kiddie.
Right. Well, there you go. If you're a consumer and you're looking to get some fencing and some landscaping done, Connor, can we give your number over the air? Can you just say your number so people can phone you? It'd be good if we can get a call in today. Go on, Con. What's your number?
My number is 07599 612399.
There we have it from Connor Ely. Thank you very much for joining this morning. I really appreciate the time, and I hope that you'll join us again, and maybe for a live feed sometime in the future, bud.
That sounds exciting.
All right, Connor. Thanks very much. That's Connor Ely. Cheers, bud. Take care. Have a great weekend. Well, there you are. That's Connor Ely. He took some time out to be part of this live stream this morning. Just going to read out a few of the things what people are saying on here. Philip James says you're part of the family, JB. Yeah, I'd like to think so. I just like to think that I'm there for people and support people. We all need help. We all need support, even me. So Phil James, thanks very much for that. Sam O'Connor says, morning, Johnyboy. Morning, Sam. How you doing? Phil James, you're so regular. I try to be. I'll be honest, I nearly missed it this morning because I had a late night last night. I'm tired today, a little bit worn out. I got to have a rest. It's not a brilliant day out there today, but I will be getting out and doing some stuff at some point. Lewis says, I'm lazy when it comes to socials. Well, I would say, Lewis, mate, I would just try and get on it and just try and sort of like schedule some posts. You can actually do all your posts in one go, and then you can schedule them at a later date. Like schedule time posts. That's a way of doing it. Listen, I understand when people say that they're lazy. You're not lazy. It's just you haven't got around to it at the moment. You'll get on with it, mate. But I'm good at what I do. There you are. We can't be good at everything, can we? Word of mouth keeps me going, says Lewis. Sam O'Connor says, how long have you been doing this, Johnny? Well, if I think about when working with my dad as a kid, like as early as I can remember, and getting out there, he was a bricklayer, and I always helped my dad do stuff, and we were always doing things, and certainly I've been in the building industry from 16 when I started as an apprentice chippy, but I got the sack. They sacked me because I was always arguing with people. That's what I did. I did that really well. Ian Crawford, any questions you want to ask me about that? I'm more than happy to answer that. Ian Crawford said, what is better, semi-dry or wet mix for step risers bedding? Well, in my opinion, what you got to try and do, you got a semi-dry. It has a little bit of moisture in it as well, but use a bridge bond to actually stick your units on there. If you want to speak to me about that, Ian, and you have some questions, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. Thanks, Connor, for your insight and views today from our lead. No problem at all. Laura, morning or just about to start laying porcelain on my PQC. Do I need to seal it with SBR before mortar goes down? Well, Laura, I think that's a fantastic question. And I think what you need to do, you can prime all slabs now in general. They need to be primed, slurry primed on the back if you're laying paving. And the reason being with sandstone, and I know you're talking about porcelain. Sandstone is very thin. It has high porosity, and what the slurry does, it makes sure it's a bridge bond with your mortar bed, and the same with porcelain. But what we have to consider is that, like for example, Balladesives have now an Instamac. They have priming slurries that go on top of the Type 1 or your lean mix. They have priming slurries that go on that, and that ensures good adhesion from one level, one horizon to another one. And you know, it can't do any harm. Some people are going to say no, you don't need it, but yeah, putting a priming slurry on the lean mix is a good thing to do as well. But you've got to make sure that you're using the right product. Go on and have a look at the Bal site and have a look at Instamac as well. Gypsy Chef Outdoors, having a mare with grout hazel. Any tips, mate, please? Grout haze. Well, it will come off. It will come off. You just got to get on there. You got to clean it. And what I would suggest before you start using any chemicals is I would use a little bit of fairy liquid and give it a good scrub. And with a soft brush, not a hard brush. If you use a soft brush, you'll get better contact. Okay, soft brush, bit of fairy liquid. In fairy liquid, there is sodium hypochlorite, which is basically bleach, and you're already adding a little bit at a time. You're not going over the top. So yeah, if anybody else can give Gypsy Chef Outdoors, a fantastic name, any advice on that is get on there now. 26 live viewers, 22 likes. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live. Really appreciate you joining me today. There are people coming and going. Saturday Morning Live is supported by the guys from ITS. Joe Hyatt says, I am not good at social media. You are, Joe. You just don't know it at the moment, mate. Johnny, really love your content. Always watch your videos. It helps me keep... Lewis, I'm learning from all of you. I learned from the comments. I'd say one thing I've learned from you guys is how to be humble, okay? And that's what it's about. We're all in here to help each other. Nice one, JB. Much appreciated. No problem at all. I don't know if I'm speaking to Laura or Laura's husband. Ian Crawford says, thanks, Johnny. Obviously, I'm trying to build Tobermoor step risers at the moment and had a bit stuck. Wanted to be sure before I stop. Well, I'll give you... Ian, if you want to FaceTime me at some point in the future, I'm more than happy to go through it with you. But it's just so strange that I'm actually off to... If I get there, I'm off to Ireland on Sunday night. I'm going out to see Tobermoor again, going to do some videos with those guys. That's a fantastic product. Go onto their website. You'll be able to see a video I recently done with Tobermoor. You'll see Roger Bisbee as well. He's done some stuff with them. He's done some really good stuff. How can I remove the dry cement off limestone without damaging it? Well, that's a hard one. I think what you've got to do, if it's localized, I would try probably, I think you just got to build up, you know, there is a number of companies out there that can actually give you some advice. And there's Graham at Floor Seal. Graham is in Doncaster. I'm fidgety this morning. Graham is at Floor Seal in Doncaster, and that guy, he's not a chemist, but he can give some good advice. You've got to be careful when the cement is built up, because what it could do, it could have a tendency to pull the face off. But I think you just got to... How much is on there, Lee? Send me a picture. It'd be good to have a look. Just it's difficult to say because there are lots of products. I don't want to sort of recommend products and it causes more damage. Like you said, you want to do it without damaging. Try and get hold of Graham at Floor Seal. I am plugging him at the moment because he's a good guy. 24 likes this morning, absolutely fantastic. No problem, Lee. Graham liked spattering. Well, you could remove it. I think, you know, limestone is a bit of a funny one. Weak brick acid. There we are. So UK Buddy Blog is giving good advice there. And the ultimate word is weak. You should always build up to it. You could try a little bit of acetone, but get ready with something to wash it off, and that might actually do. So, but there are brick acids, but acetone, just like the nail varnish remover stuff, try and use that, but just try it on one localized area to see if it actually works at the moment. Always wash you as you go. It's a must. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, honest, when we talk about important tools, and we know they're important, the wheelbarrow, the string line, which is a massively important tool, the shovel, everything we use is important, all of it. But probably one of the most important tools you'll ever have is a bucket of water and a sponge. It's so important that you actually use that. You can just get one. I don't know if you've seen in the video this week, I filled up about 5 buckets full of water, clean water, and I always had a bucket next to me with a sponge in so I could wash my hands off, because that's sometimes we contaminate the products we're working with simply because we're getting slurry on our hands, and I just dip my hands in the water, wash my hands off, or wear those gloves. But it's a nightmare taking those gloves on and off all the time. I get told regular that I should be wearing gloves, I should be wearing knee pads, and I do wear steel toe cap boots. Guys, I'm hoping in the future. I realise this now. I feel so stupid, lads, but it's my first and my own job. Don't feel stupid, bud. Lee, don't feel stupid. We've all made mistakes. Still making those mistakes now. Don't feel stupid. It's just a mistake. We all make mistakes. Look, the other thing what I was going to talk about, I'm off. My client knows it. We're off on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think I'll be returning back Wednesday night. I'm flying out on Sunday, going out to Stonewall. I hope I can get onto the flight. I will try and do a live stream or a post and share some pictures on the community page when I'm on there. Not because I'm plugging and sharing Tobermoor and getting paid for it, because I'm not getting paid to post about them, but certainly it is a fantastic product, and I want to just show you what I'm doing when I'm out there. Some great guys out there. I really enjoy being out there. I'm going to meet a couple of landscapers when I go out there. So if any of you guys are watching now, I should be in Magafalt on Sunday night, and I will be available in the evening if you want to take me for one beer. That's all it is, one beer. Lewis says, if you lay porcelain over the top of wood fascia or sleepers, do you use the flexible? I wouldn't do it, Lewis. I wouldn't lay it over wood, full stop. When you wood expands and contracts, doesn't it lift all? Yeah, it does. It does. Don't do it. Don't get sticking any paving on top of any wood whatsoever. I was told this week, somebody told me that they actually seen somebody had laid paving over an old decked area. Can't believe it. Slurry primer burns your hand without water or on standard to be clean, plus saves the next slab, get excess mat. Yeah, there we are. Look, you had it from UK Bully Blog. Listen, but I'd love to know what your name is. I don't want to keep calling you UK Bully Blog. If you want me to call you that, I will, no problem at all. But that's some good, sound, solid advice. Hey, look, things happen, Lee, so don't even worry about it. Mistakes happen, all right? We can be forgiven for that. Ian Crawford says, does any acetone or acid work on Tobermoor bracken blocks getting rid of cement stain? Well, what I'm going to do, Ian, when I'm out in Ireland on Monday, I'm going to be speaking to their technical department, and I'm going to find out that one for you. So I'll be at Tim. Good morning. Tim, you'll have to remind me again in the future what your name is. Ian Crawford, I will find out when I'm in. I'm going to see what their views are of that on Monday, and that's the bracken. I'm going to be asking some questions about that. What you find it is, I'm not sure if the bracken is the prime top, but it's quite intense in colour all the way through. Tobermoor tend to put their colour in the top half of the blocks. 48 minutes, absolutely fantastic. We've hit not the end of the live stream at the moment. I just want to keep it going and see what you guys have to say. We've had such a consistent in numbers, 24 likes, 24 live viewers. Let's just see if we can get 25 likes on here at the moment. If we can get an extra like, people come and go on these live streams and they'll watch them later on. So they will stay up there, these live videos. They don't just get deleted. They do stay there. Great advice as usual, JB and crew. Many thanks from Lee. Ian Crawford says, cheers, Johnny. No problem at all. Do what you guys are doing the weekend. Any of you working the weekend on your own property, doing some stuff. This live stream, this channel, Greentop Landscapes, is there for the consumer and contractor alike to help to support. Lewis, I wouldn't lay over wood, mate, because of the different speed of expansion to the porcelain. Absolutely perfect advice. This is what it's all about. 25 likes. We did it. Thanks very much, guys and girls. I really, really appreciate it. Look, next week, I promised Lee, you will be having your hoodie. We will be sending it. And there was someone else as well that I promised it to. But we're out of hoodies at the moment. But I promise you next week what we're going to be doing, we're going to be having some freebies and some giveaways again. Brad Lamarck says, morning, Johnny. Any tips to stop joint from falling out of the steps? If that makes sense. Yeah, it does. I think you can use some of the tape, but be careful with some of the tapes you're using because they do leave a little bit of a mark, though you can get it off, but it's a bit of scrubbing. Use some tapes. I see a lot of people using clear mastic on there, and they pull that after. The big FBC, yes, still trying to get this damn garden done. You'll be all right, bud. Send me some pictures. Let's have a look at it. Lewis says, I agree, but it's just a fascia. You could potentially use a flexible adhesive, very sturdy. Well, if you're using it to take the weight, I wouldn't do that at all. I just stay clear of it, Lewis. I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean there when you say about the fascia, but try and avoid doing that. If I was you, don't get mixing the two. There are lots of bad products out there, some good products. I want to know off you. 27 likes. Look at this, brilliant. Brad Williams, Gorilla Tape. There we are. Waterproof. This is where the answers come because guys have used it. Somebody asked the question, and Brad Williams straight on there. Gorilla Tape, waterproof. £18 a roll, but it's amazing for steps, joints. And I suppose, Brad, that will last some time. Gorilla Tape. I wonder if we can get them to support this live feed. Wouldn't that be good if we could get somebody to actually support the live feed when we talk about their products, and we can give something away to you guys on the group? Fantastic response there this morning. Love all the content. The feedback is absolutely, I'm blown away by it. Really appreciate everybody's support on this channel. And unless you've already subscribed, because you won't be able to watch this, but try and share and get the videos out there and get them to sort of people get them to subscribe to this channel, because it is growing and I'd like it to grow a little bit faster, but at a rate which is real. Okay, I want it to grow at a rate that is real. We just can't run away with it sometimes. Lads, that's it. 51 and girls, 51 minutes. We've kept this live stream going. We've had lots of content and we've met some new people. Tim on here this morning. It's great having you on here. Questions still coming in. Love it. What did he say, Lewis? He says, like a wood frame filled with hardcore, only centimeters of wood around the edge that would have contrast. Not sure. I'm not sure about that. Brad Lamarck says, thanks, lads. Much appreciated. There we are. You're all helping and supporting each other. That's what this is where you're going to find the answers to the questions that you're looking for. And we can do it on a live stream. It makes it easy. If any of you guys now at this very moment, or girls, Joe Hyatt, no problem at all. If any of you guys or girls at the moment want to actually share and speak to these people, what I would suggest now, share your if you don't do it now, you can do it on the stream after, is on the video after, but you can certainly look. Let's talk about Makita. I could do with some freebies from them, JB. Well, they're hard work, honest. If Makita's watching this morning, come and join us and give some freebies away. It'd be good to have you on here. If any of you guys that need any help, if there's any questions or any comments that you've seen this morning that you feel that could help you, is just drop your email now on the comments now, because you won't see these comments on once the post goes up. You have to watch this now, or just send a comment later and probably tag some of these people. I'm not quite sure how you do it, but if you've got any questions to any of the comments that people have said on this morning, is that you need to get on the live stream or drop me an email. That's it, guys. Thanks very much, guys and girls. Really appreciate it. I'm going to get back to my milkshake and maybe sit down for a minute and have a little rest. Take the load off my back. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Be safe. And if anything's worth doing, as my old boss said, it's worth doing well. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.